Hello there. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Emily Good, and today I'm talking about the books I read in June. So let's get started. I have been in a major reading slump. I have been dealing with some depression and not the right priorities probably. So I haven't really been taking the time to read, but in June I decided to change that. And I'm very glad that I did. So let me get started. So what I'll say is that for me to upload this video, I literally film it on my phone and then I upload it to YouTube. I don't edit anything short of clipping things, like if I pause too long or whatever. There really is no editing, which I know will be such a huge shocker because the quality of my videos is just top notch. But a lot of these books were audiobooks. So you're unfortunately, I'm not gonna like pop up pictures of the books that I read, but I will put the timestamp down in the description so that you don't have to watch every single book. If you choose not to do that, that would be fine. So let's get started. The first book that I read / listened to, I did read some of it and I also listened to it, was the first book in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, which is The Fellowship of the Ring. I decided to rate this book a 3, and what I will say is that obviously The Lord of the Rings is such a classic. It is a masterpiece. It is extremely famous. It has stood the test of time. What I will also say is, to be fair to this 3-star rating, if you've read this before and you're like, what the hell is she talking about? It is high fantasy. I am not a big fantasy reader. Especially like high fantasy. I can do like the Harry Potter series. Love it. I would like to start diving in more, but the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring, for me, I wasn't gripped the whole time, but let me tell you what it's about. If you don't know, if I'm the first one to ever tell you about the Lord of the Rings, awesome. So the Fellowship of the Ring. So you've got Frodo Baggins, okay? He is a hobbit, and he lives in the Shire. He lives in a house in a hill, and suddenly he is put on this quest. His silly uncle kind of passes on this one ring to rule them all, which could end up being the doom of Middle Earth as they know it. So Frodo is forced to go on a quest, and with him he takes one of his best friends, Samwise Gamgee. He takes 2 other hobbits with him. You've got Pippin and Took. I don't have it written down, but you've got 3 hobbits with him, so there's 4 hobbits in total. All very, very lovely friends. I love the friendships. I love the seeing. Hi, honey.
Do we read the Paddington book?
Yeah, we can read the Paddington books when I'm done filming this. Romy, honey. Wait, it's holding up my phone. High quality. So he takes an elf as well with him. You've got the Fellowship. He's got a dwarf and a great wizard, Gandalf, who I also really love. So they're on a journey. They're on a journey to destroy this ring that poor Frodo, it's been passed on to him. So it's a trek. It's a trek from the Shire. They are on their way to destroy this ring, and things will go amiss, obviously. So I'm on the second one now. I'm not going to say too much more about it. If you enjoy high fantasy and you have somehow not read The Lord of the Rings, I think you'd enjoy it. For a gal like me who's just kind of reading it because I've watched the movies so many times and because it's one of my boyfriend's favorite series. He is very into fantasy. I just kind of feel forced to read it, and it was one of my 2023 goals. So that's where I'm at. That took me 5 minutes. So here's the second book that I listened to. It was a memoir, and it's called Paris by Paris Hilton. I kept seeing things. I'm on like so many different Facebook reading groups now, which is where I get the major, most of my recommendations now of books I read. I get them off of Facebook, actually, funny enough. And Paris's memoir kept coming up, and like one person like posted about it, and then like a bunch of different people were like, "Oh my gosh, yes, I love this, I love this, I love this." Like there were no bad comments. So I was like, "Oh wow, really?" So I'm gonna get it. I had an Audible credit, so I got it, and I will tell you what, I really, really, really enjoyed it. It was actually one of my favorite books out of all 5 books that I read last month. Paris was absolutely one of the most enjoyable. I don't know what to say. It was just a really great memoir. It was extremely interesting. I really enjoyed getting to know her, hearing her story. You know, you see her, she did the simple life, and, you know, obviously she was born with a lot of privilege, which she acknowledges. But, you know, even people who are born into privilege don't always use that to their advantage, and she has. So she's done a lot of good things on her own. It's very important to her to build her own brand, and it was honestly really shocking if you haven't read it or don't know about it. So actually, Paris, when she was young, she was kidnapped from her parents' place and was taken to the school for troubled teens, and it was honestly a really horrific experience. It was very interesting to hear about, and it was interesting to read and listen about all the active work that she's doing for troubled teens, because apparently it's a great big issue. These people profiting off of troubled teens and like parents who don't know what the hell to do with their kids. And they're actually really nasty to the kids that they take. So, yeah, I see you. He's backing up. Okay, so Paris, 5 star for sure. And again, she was the narrator, so I really enjoyed her getting to hear her read her story. It was really good. The next book I read, I gave 4 stars to, was The Float Plan. Who is that by? By Trish Dollar. This was another one I found off of Facebook. It was cute. It's summertime. I don't think that we're going to be able to go on vacation this year, and I love the ocean. I'm obsessed. I want to move there so badly. So I needed like a summer read, like something nice and easy, like after The Lord of the Rings and Paris. I really needed something like light and nice. So I came across The Float Plan. And The Float Plan, so it starts out, so this is not a spoiler because it's like the main plot point of the book, basically. Anna, her boyfriend, she and her fiance had been planning this like sailing expedition. They've been planning it for years, and the book starts with her fiance actually committing suicide. So she is kind of left reeling. You know, they've made these plans. She's a waitress, and she decides to carry out his plan. She doesn't know anything about sailing. She really doesn't know a whole lot. So she does this, and she ends up having to hire somebody to help her, Keen. and they sail across the Caribbean. It was super light. It was lovely. I enjoyed going to the Caribbean. I enjoyed being on the sailboat. I enjoyed the different friendships that they made. I really enjoyed getting to know Keen. The book did not change my life in the slightest. It's a little bit forgettable, to be honest with you, but like at the time it was exactly what I needed. So if you're looking for a nice, easy summer read, I definitely recommend The Float Plan. It was cute. I enjoyed listening to it. I can't speak for how the actual book reads, but I really enjoyed the audiobook. Okay, the next book. This is the only like actual physical book I read. This has been sitting on my shelves forever. I got it for my birthday haul, and that is Bunny by Mona Awad.
No, Mom, it's say the Paddington book.
Yeah. Can you say hi?
Hi,
We're talking about books.
we're talking about books.
Yeah, we're talking about books. So Bunny, oops. Oh crap, what's the main character's name now? This was weeks ago that I read this. Okay, so you've got Samantha, okay? She is at a prestigious writing school in New England. Is it New England? Yeah, New England. She's at an elite college for writing and in an MFA program. So she's amongst the rich, and she is not rich. And there's this group of girls that she sort of idolizes. It's like a weird, very like cultish group of 4 girls who call themselves Bunny. They all call each other Bunny. And they're very like girly, like little girl, like it's kind of bizarre to read about them, but you know, they're like the popular, like well put together, very well dressed, even though they kind of have quirky sense of fashion. I felt like they would wear like big, I don't know, like if I understood it correctly, but like big ball gowny type of dresses, like very quirky clothing. But anyways, so Samantha ends up like getting invited to one of their get-togethers, and she ends up like getting sucked into their group, and it was really really bizarre. I would read it at night. Since it's a physical book, I would read it at night, like after the kids went to sleep. So I was reading it late at night. Will was working midnights, and honestly, I felt so unsettled reading it. Like I enjoy reading Stephen King. I enjoy reading like a good like thriller, psychological thriller, horror books. I really enjoy that. This book, it was so unsettling to me. I just, like, a lot of the times, like, I didn't know who to trust. I didn't know who was okay. I didn't know who wasn't. I didn't know what the hell was going on with a lot of these girls. It was bizarre. So like what they're doing is they're trying to during their little get-togethers that Samantha gets kind of roped into, they are trying to call in their muse, basically. They're trying to get inspiration for themselves as artists. That's what I'll say. And they do it in an extremely bizarre way. Like, it was just very, very creepy, eerie to me. I bought the book back in November because Chloe, who now on YouTube, if you're not familiar with her, which I'm sure you are, is Chloe Bunny now, because she loved the book so much, and like she has all these different versions of the book, and so I bought it because of her. And I love like a good like prestigious school, like a girl who's an outsider trying to fit in with the popular girls. But this book, what did I end up reading it? Roman, of course, closed my book, so let me open it back up. I honestly don't remember what I rated it. Oh, I rated it a 4-star. which now, like, looking at it, I'm kind of like, I kind of feel like it was more of a 3, but I'll keep it the 4. And I could see me keeping it the 4 because it was so creepy. I feel like it would be a good book to read during like fall, like Halloween. But it was really kind of creepy. So, but if you like creepy and like somebody described it as deliciously evil, and that's absolutely an accurate description of that book. So if you're into that type of thing, you probably would enjoy it. Bunny by Mona Awad. So there's your one me holding up a book. And my final book, which was another one of my favorites, so my favorites were Paris and His and Hers by Alice Feeney. This is my first Alice Feeney book I'm pretty sure that I've ever read. I listened to it. And I enjoyed the audiobook so much. I really did not know what was going on. Like, I thought that I did, and then, like, it changed a few times. So the way that it's narrated, so you've got the female narrator, and you've got the male narrator, and then you have the killer narrator, whose voice is, like, not microphoned, but, yes, honey, I'll put that on. But like, okay, so like the killer's voice is audio tuned, maybe. I hope that you know what I mean. But so like you had no idea who was the killer. You didn't know if it was a male, female. And I just really, really enjoyed it. I did give it 5 stars, but like I feel like I don't know. So like anyway, I enjoyed it. If you're looking for like a mystery, like thriller type of book, I feel like if you haven't read His and Hers, I really, really enjoyed it, and I would like to read more of Alice Feeney's books because I just really, really enjoyed it. Here's how I feel about 5 stars. I'm trying to reserve 5 stars anymore for like books that will stick with me. I feel like it's been so long, except for Between Two Kingdoms, and Educated, the 2 memoirs that I read a few months back. I really, really enjoyed those, and those will stick with me. But like since I was 18, I've had the same favorite book, and that is She's Come Undone by Wally Lamb. I've probably read it 3 different times. And just the way that, like, I can so clearly tell you point by point the way that the story came about, the different people that Dolores met, different things that kind of made me cringe during the book, her relationship with her dad, like, different, like, little parts of that book, like, I can so vividly recall. And so that's, like, a 10-star to me. Because, like, when I read a book, generally, I'm like, okay, yeah, like, this was what it was about, but, like, other than that, it was very surface level to me. And I'm just looking for, like, stories that stick with me that are very memorable, because I don't feel like I've read many books like that lately. So I'm looking for those. So the His and Hers, I guess I'll keep the 5 star just because I really enjoyed the reading experience. But did I like love or really care about the characters or even remember like major characterizations of the people I read about? No. So I'm looking for books that I'm looking for characters who I will care about and like remember their story. So yeah, that was my June reading month. I'm hoping that July is an even better one. I'm off to a pretty good start. So yeah, thank you so much for being here. It's been a little bit of time of me being away when I'm struggling with depression. I just, I'm kind of over talking when I don't feel like I have anything positive to say. Will hears enough of it. I hear enough of it myself when I'm talking out loud and I'm constantly just down and stuff. So I don't want to burden anybody else with it. But hopefully, things are looking up. So thank you so much for being here. Let me know if you've read any of those books. I will talk to you next time. Take care. Bye.